The Construction of the Panama Canal by Marlo Callan and Morgan Brandt.
The Panama Canal is a 48-mile water passage for ships between the cities of Colón and Balboa. The canal was necessary as travel and trade were inconvenient at this time, as they had to go from Atlantic to Pacific Ocean traveling around the Cape Horn. Also, the U.S. Navy was growing and they needed more control and unification. The construction of the Panama Canal began in 1882 with the French. Ferdinand de Lesseps led the project as well as leading the Suez Canal. He estimated $132 million and 12 years for the canal to be finished.
There were many obstacles. There were dangerous animals and landslides occurred. The project fund was running low due to the underestimated cost of building the canal. It was extremely difficult to maintain the canal's labor force because the people kept getting tropical diseases. The consequences were severe. They only dug 11 out of the 50 miles. It cost $287 million, so thousands of investors lost money and the canal remained unfinished. The U.S. wanted to finish building the canal. The Secretary of State, John Hay, and the Foreign Minister of Colombia signed a treaty that allowed for the completion of the canal. The Colombian Congress couldn't accept the financial terms, so they rejected the offer. President Roosevelt then sent warships to Colón and Balboa. The Colombian forces were unable to fight back because they couldn't navigate the jungle. Panama became independent on November 3, 1903. Bougainvillea was a French engineer for the attempt at constructing the canal. He held a position of authority and negotiated the Hay-Bougainvillea Treaty of 1903, which provided the U.S. with a 10-mile wide strip of land, a one-time $10 million payment to Panama, and an annual annuity of $250,000. The U.S. also agreed to guarantee the independence of Panama.
Rose Van Hartevelde was a wife of an American engineer and watched the construction. She wrote a book called Make the Dirt Fly, in which she said, "Would they, thronging the deck and crowding the rails to watch their serene passage from one ocean to another, be aware of all the obstacles and hazards that had to be overcome before their voyage could be made possible." The U.S. involvement the first year looked similar to the French disaster, but with John Stevens, the change of leadership, he saved the canal. He used the railroad to haul their equipment, but eventually he resigned, and George Washington Goethals led them through the toughest area of the canal. The canal was completed August 15, 1914, but it was forgotten about during the World War.
Today, over 13,000 ships use the canal each year. Panama is in control of the canal and receives the tolls for passing through, and the canal is still being expanded.